Hey ZAMFAM, it's Rebecca, and if you're new to my channel, welcome to the ZAMFAM. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Today's video is gonna be a little bit different. Usually I do a lot of comedy and funny things, but today I thought I would share my story with you guys. Because a lot of you guys are new subscribers to me, which I love so much. Thank you for subscribing and for watching my videos. I realize that a lot of you guys don't really know my story. So today I'm gonna be sharing one of my very personal stories, something that saved my life and changed my life 2 years ago, and I still have a hard time talking about it, but it's something that I know a lot of people suffer with, and hopefully by sharing my story I can help someone else and give them hope. And yeah, so here we go. December 1st through the 7th, which today is Crohn's and Colitis Awareness Week, and so I thought this would be the perfect time to really share my story. 2 years ago, I had my colon removed and I wore an ostomy bag. Now let me backtrack as to why I had my colon removed. I suffered with ulcerative colitis for 8 years. For those of you that don't know what ulcerative colitis is, it's inflammatory bowel disease. That's a lot different from IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, in the sense that it's an autoimmune disease and there's no cure for it. It's also very similar to Crohn's disease. They're kind of in the same family. It all started when I went for a run and I had to use the bathroom immediately, and I thought I had a stomach bug, and that day I went to the bathroom a lot more, and I just kind of thought I was sick. After a week of having symptoms of just constantly having to go to the bathroom, I went to the doctor and I found out that I had ulcerative colitis. And I had no idea what that really meant, but I was told that I would need to take medication for the rest of my life. Flash forward 8 years and I had tried every medication, every diet, every homeopathic approach that you could think of, literally everything, and nothing worked. I was going to the bathroom 30 to 50 times a day. I was in the hospital usually once a month, and they would pump me up on steroids and I wouldn't be able to eat, and then I'd get out of the hospital and I'd taper off steroids and then I'd have to go back in. I literally felt trapped in my body and I wasn't able to do a lot of the things that you guys do every day. I couldn't run. I couldn't go to a mall because I was worried I wouldn't make it to a bathroom in time. Driving was the worst because when I felt like I had to go to the bathroom, I literally had 30 seconds to get to a bathroom or there was gonna be an accident. So you guys can imagine the anxiety I lived with for those 8 years. If you don't know anyone or you don't really know what ulcerative colitis is, I can describe it as when you get a stomach bug and you have diarrhea and you just keep going and you can't stop. That was literally my life for 8 years. So my wedding happened, which was the best day of my life, and in order to be able to get married, they pumped me up on a bunch of steroids just so I could get through the whole thing and not go to the hospital. In order to get to my honeymoon in Jamaica, I had to basically dehydrate myself all throughout the trip. I really didn't eat or drink anything. And then I took like 6 to 10 Imodiums in the 24 hours that we were traveling. I think the hardest thing about it was explaining it to other people. If I said I had to go to the bathroom and they'd say, you know, like, oh, we'll just go in the next 10 minutes. And I was like, no, I don't have 10 minutes. I need to go right now. And I didn't want people feeling bad for me or thinking I was sick. So I really tried to hide it as much as I could and stay as positive as I could. So after my honeymoon, my gastro doctor contacted me and she said she needed me to come in. Now, I had been getting colonoscopies basically every year, at least once a year, usually twice. So I had over a dozen colonoscopies. And so I thought it was a little bit weird that she was bringing me in because it was something that I had done all the time, and I'd gotten one right before my wedding. I sat down in her office and she had told me, it's so hard to say this. So she sat me down in her office and she basically told me that my colon had gotten so bad it had become precancerous. And she recommended that I see a surgeon for surgery. I still get so emotional talking about this. And she highly suggested surgery, meaning that my colon would be removed and I would wear an ostomy bag. And I was devastated. And so I begged her, I said, please, please, like, let me do another colonoscopy. My colon will get better. I'll do yoga all month. I'll meditate. I was stressed for my wedding, but it'll get better. So the next month I did yoga, I meditated, I did everything right. I had the best diet ever. I was gluten-free, dairy-free, you name it. I was doing everything I could to make sure that my body was healthy. So I go back in now a month later for my colonoscopy, and I find out that my colon has gotten even worse. So bad that I had no choice but to have surgery or I would die. It still freaks me. It so freaked me out hearing that. So I decided, since I was gonna have surgery, I was gonna make the best of it, and I was gonna spread awareness for a disease that didn't have a cure. I went online to do research, and there was no one I could really look up to as a role model, no one that had an ostomy bag whose story was out there. And so I decided, since I was gonna have this surgery anyways, I was gonna document it and share my story, I guess in hopes that someone else that was in my situation could see what I was going through and maybe it would help them in some way. I did a Kickstarter campaign to raise $15,000, which was the bare minimum that I would need to be able to complete this documentary, and we did it. It was amazing the amount of support and love that I got from not just my friends and family, but people I didn't know that were sharing their story and telling me that they suffered with ulcerative colitis, or they had a friend or a parent, and it was literally what kept me going from not having a breakdown, and because it was really such a big thing to go through. So I went in for surgery September 11th, 2014, and they removed my colon. Now, originally this surgery was supposed to be on September 11th, and I was gonna wear an ostomy bag for 3 months, and then in December, everything would be closed up and I wouldn't wear an ostomy bag anymore. But when they went in, my colon was so damaged that when they pulled it out, it just disintegrated, which I really don't talk about a lot because it just freaks me out knowing that I could have died at any second if I hadn't had it removed. So instead of it being a 3-month surgery, it turned into me having to have 3 surgeries in 9 months and wearing an ostomy bag for 9 months. They took my small intestines and pulled it up so that I was literally pooping out from the side of my stomach into a bag. Having an ostomy bag was obviously a huge adjustment for me, and the first couple of weeks were basically like a boot camp. You know, the bag leaked, I didn't do it right, I had to figure things out, what I was gonna wear. But once I kind of got the hang of it, it became the biggest lifesaver for me. I started to feel healthy again. I started to have energy. I got to do things like go to the movies, go shopping, things that normal people do all the time, and I wasn't able to do for so many years. After the 9 months of wearing my ostomy bag and having 3 surgeries, they were able to close it up, and I now no longer have an ostomy bag. I just have a little scar. So I get the question a lot if I still wear an ostomy bag. No, not anymore. I have a J pouch. It's an internal pouch which was made out of my small intestines. So it's kind of like a fake colon. And I go to the bathroom like everyone else. The pouch isn't perfect. I have to go on antibiotics and sometimes it acts up. But honestly, after what I went through for the last 8 years, I really cannot complain, and I am just so thankful and happy to be alive. If you do want to watch the full documentary, it's on iTunes and Vimeo on demand. It's called Inside Out: My Battle with IBD. I'll put the link in the description below. So yeah, I just wanted to share my story with those of you that didn't necessarily know it yet. And hopefully there's someone out there that will see this and it will help them get through whatever they're going through. When you're in something so dark, it feels like there's no light, but you just have to have hope that things will get better. And luckily for me, they did, and this is a very happy story, and I'm just so grateful for everything I get to do. And for you guys, just don't take things for granted, because you don't realize what you have until you don't have it, or you can't do it. I just want to say I love you guys so much. Making videos makes me so happy, and it's something that I've always loved to do, so thank you for letting me be able to do that. Love you, ZAMFAM, and I'll see you next time.